Oh, please get the government out of the classroom. It's an idea that seems to be taking some shape in the new Trump administration. Politico reporting that Education Secretary Betsy DeVos says it's a possibility that school choice may go national. And she's talking about the controversial voucher-like program that uses tax credits to pay private school tuition for low-income students. It's been used for years in Florida. The administration sees it as a model for how the whole country could operate. Advocates say such voucher programs give parents more choices. Critics say they take funding away from public schools. So what's the best for kids? Let me ask Jonathan Hoenig, Capitalistpig Hedge Fund founder and a Fox News contributor. Jonathan, it drives me crazy, the people who say that this is immoral and bad because, parents who opt out of the public school system using their tax money to go ahead and find a different alternative for their kids' education, that, they're going to leave failing schools, and that's wrong. So should failing schools be left in place?
Something has to change here, Kennedy, to your point. I mean, it's not working. Over the last 40 years, the government has spent 300% more on education. Just in the last 10 years, it's been $80 billion on No Child Left Behind. Test scores are going down. No wonder that the parents are looking for any other types of alternatives. And they're going towards, as you said, these private market-based alternatives where test scores are across the board higher. And even more importantly, the costs are lower, on average by about 30% in the private schools, often religious, but private over the public schools. So this is exactly the type of direction that the government needs to be pursuing. Ultimately, fully privatization, but in the meantime, vouchers would be a real productive step for parents and especially for students.
Yeah, and the one thing that these public schools don't have, particularly in the school districts that get the most money, like LAUSD, New York City Public Schools, and Washington, D.C., is there's no accountability. And there's no incentive to improve schools because there is no natural force acting on them to make their schools better, like there is with private schools and charter schools, which close if they do badly and parents revolt and pull their kids out of those schools. Because parents who have taken their kids to charter schools and oftentimes to private schools, they are exercising a choice, sometimes out of total frustration, and they are not afraid to use that flexibility and change again. That's why these schools and these programs have to be better.
Right, choice. I mean, Kennedy, you said that choice is the word. And, it's amazing to me. Parents who would never use the U.S. Postal Service, would always use FedEx for something important, then go right around the corner and drop their kids off at a public school, which is all you said is terribly mismanaged, terribly expensive. And, this is not recent. This really goes back to the progressive era in the early 1910s, where all these ideas, these progressive ideas under John Dewey started coming into the culture. So, we need to free up. We need to emancipate the higher education system, because it's a monopoly right now, just like higher education, just like health care. This is what government involvement has wrought. And I tell you, what we should want to see is government schools closed and Walmart open a school, Microsoft open a school, Amazon open a school. Not only would results improve, but costs would go down dramatically.
Well, and parents should have the choice, because not all public schools are bad. A lot of parents know that. They go, they research, they try and find the very best public schools so their kids can thrive, and all parents should have that option. Jonathan Hoenig, thank you so much.